Okay, guys, it's time to put the pedal to the metal and rate some fictional kitty art. Thanks for joining me as I look through my 2013 edition of Warriors The Ultimate Guide. Disclaimer, I am in no way judging Wayne McLaughlin, the illustrator for this series' art. Au contraire, these illustrations are fantastic, but I feel like the team should have given their artists some better direction on some of these cats. That being said, I will be rating these cats on how accurately someone could see what the cat looks like and possibly acts like from their illustration alone. So today we're starting with Modern ThunderClan. So we're starting with Blue Star. Yes, love it, beautiful. What happened to this Blue Star? Bring her back. I need more Blue Star. Love this. A+. Only fault is that I can't see her whole body like the original Blue Star's Prophecy cover. But that's just me being nitpicky because I miss this Blue Star being the official Blue Star. Pine Star. Gorgeous. He looks so saturated and I love it. But we don't get to see much of Pine Star in the books, and even though, this is how I imagined him, I'll leave him at a B. This is only because he looks a bit too clean in this art, and I feel like he should have some scars. Real proof as to why his decision to leave the clan was valid. I'm not even mad that the art only shows his face, because he's not that important of a character, but this is solid art. Next are Goosefeather and Featherwhisker. I like the touch of Goosefeather having a shorter muzzle than Featherwhisker, since most of his fan art and most people imagine him as a cranky old man, and it kind of correlates with that. But on the other hand, they are completely missing the fluff Featherwhisker is supposed to have, and the insane frazzled dirty look Goosefeather is supposed to have. So they go at C. They pass with their markings and coloring because they're accurate, but just barely. Firestar. Here we go with the real modern cats. Love this. It is a classic warrior kitty himself. Only problem is that it's not his whole body or enough of him even in a scene like Blue Star, but this is just a solid A. He looks just as how most people would imagine. Spotted Leaf. I'm going to go with D. This tells me nothing about Spotted Leaf. If anything, it makes me think she's a villain. I've spent so much time trying to figure out her quote-unquote correct coloration from this image, and it tells me nothing about her character. The only reason this image isn't an F because this isn't inherently non-canon. This could theoretically be Spotted Leaf, but you just caught her at a bad moment. It looks like she's my friend's cat in his litter box taking a shit, but still maintaining eye contact with you. Now here we get to some issues. Graystripe and Millie. I understand that Millie didn't have enough information to get her own page, but Graystripe is such an iconic and important character to the series, even now for some reason, and they just did him dirty like this by just showing a shady face. They've illustrated him before wonderfully, but this is just odd. Excuse me. Millie is even in front of him for some reason, probably to hide how they removed his fluff and made his eyes green for some reason. Even Millie has issues. I understand why they gave her green eyes since in the comic they're portrayed as an ambery color, but the thing is, her eyes are actually canonically blue, so this is an F. This guide is not correct in depicting these characters. Time for Sandstorm. Yes, love. Much love. This is amazing and exactly how anyone would imagine Sandstorm. No problems here. A+. Brightheart and Cloudtail? I'm not sure how to rate this one, since Cloudtail is also the cat featured in this excerpt, but he's nowhere to be found. I'm just gonna give them two separate grades then. Cloudtail, F, F-. You done did this kitty bad, and there was so much potential for him being a fluffy kitty. Brightheart, she gets an F too. I love the pose, I love the scar, I love how they included what I'm assuming is a ginger patch in the background, but it'd be very easy to assume that she was an all-white cat. And out of the people in this fandom thinking her eyes were green or blue or both, this is neither. This is amber. I love her, but this isn't showing her canonically, so I have to give her a thumbs down. Yellowfang. Yes, this is what I wanted from Pine Star. I wouldn't say this image is particularly stunning with the weird background color choice, but Yellowfang is just as I imagined she would be, so she gets an A. Next is her apprentice. Cinderpelt's image is good enough. I'll give it a B. The only problem with this is that it doesn't include the aspect of Cinderpelt that really makes her Cinderpelt. Her legs are completely covered by the grass, and her tail, and it doesn't even tell us artists which leg the injury was on. Next is Cinderpelt's apprentice. This book lists the cat in a very odd manner. So, Leafpool. I love this for Leafpool. She's at the Moonpool, her namesake. This tells you a lot about her character and the contrast with her sister that appears next. Even though it's dark, you can see that she's either a brown or light ginger tabby. The one nitpick I have is that her eyes are closed, but with this book's track record on eye colors, maybe it's for the best. She gets an A. Squirrelflight's image was obviously made to contrast with Leafpool's, and it looks like they just told the artist to make her more buff, orange, and in the sun, but same as Leafpool. I do have problems with this image though, but they are minor. Again, no eyes are shown, but this isn't much of a problem since everyone knows what color her eyes are. My problems arise with the lack of her white paw, which was always a nice detail they added to the canon to make her quote-unquote look like Scourge, I guess. Oops, Scourge. Sorry guys, I keep doing that. Who else did that when they were younger? I also would have liked to see a fluffier tail, but genetically this makes Leafpool and Squirrelflight look like siblings, and I enjoy that. So, C for the inaccuracy of the paw. Brambleclaw is next. Or should I say Bramblestar? He's called Brambleclaw here. I like this image. He looks terrifying, and that's his big thing. He's supposed to look like Tiger Star, and they even have him in a similar pose to the Tiger Star image later. It does kind of look like he's in the same place as Squirrelflight though, and I like that touch. Almost like he's staring at her as she leaps across the gap in shock. It's nice. A. Ashfur looks really cool, actually. I like his illustration. He looks exactly like I expected him to look. They even have him on a tree branch, which is some good foreshadowing to the most iconic scene in the fandom. A. I also like Lineblaze's image. It's pretty boring, and he looks chunky, and I love it. B. It'd be an A if he was fighting or doing something stupid. Hollyleaf is after her brother, and I have to say, while I like the pose, the image is canonically incorrect. She has amber eyes when she should have green, so that is an F. I am sorry. Jayfeather just looks kinda derpy. It does have all his features, so that's good, but at the same time, they could have gone with any pose, and they go with him getting ready to sniff the camera. B. With Cinder Hearts, I have to say another F. This is just incorrect since she has blue eyes, and here she has amber eyes. I love her pose, some good foreshadowing with her character arc and messing up her leg. It's just that using this reference would be bad. Doveling is next since this book was released before she escaped Bumblestripe and ran off to ShadowClan, and I love her design. She looks fluffy and cute, and her eyes are wide and ears are perked. She looks just how I imagined her. Honestly, whatever colored eyes she'd have in this, I wouldn't care since she didn't really have a specific eye color for a while, but I do prefer green. The Fourth Apprentice was my first Warriors book, so I always saw her as having green eyes from that cover. I also like how she's looking straight ahead since she's a very forthcoming character who isn't afraid to speak her mind. A+. Ivypool is next, and I also really like her illustration. Unlike Dovewing, she looks sleeker and isn't facing the reader, which I think is to show their personality differences. The only problem with this image is that she doesn't look as rough around the edges from training in the Dark Forest, which I guess I could let slide, since this was when Omen of the Stars was new, but I won't, so it is a B. With Briarlight, I love her pose, I love the scenery, I love everything, but again, Briarlight's eyes are blue, not amber, so I'm gonna have to give this an F. I'm sorry, Briarlight, I didn't mean for it to come to this. I do have to say, though, Blossomfall and Bumblestripe are probably pissed that they're the only Gray Stripe spawn not included in this book. And so, that was apparently all of Relevant ThunderClan. If you guys like this, I'll do ShadowClan next. Again, this is not meant to be against the illustrator of this book. This art is perfection if he was just drawing cats, but these cats do have certain appearances and personalities that he was not given the best direction on. Also, as you can tell, I was pretty upset Cloudtail and Brightheart's page did not feature Cloudtail at all. If you think you have a better idea of what their illustration should have looked like, you can send it to me or tag me on Instagram at ceolsonart. Thanks for watching!